Hello, everyone. So we are going to do 45 minutes of therapeutic yoga today with the focus on low back arthritis. Now, that's a very generic term when I speak about the low back, but when we generally talk about low back arthritis, if you can kind of think about taking your low back and dividing it in two. So you have a front half of your low back and a back half of your low back. Yes, it's confusing, I know. But the front half of your low back is where your discs exist. The back half of your low back is really where the joints of your low back exist. And so what we're going to be really kind of primarily focusing on today is trying to make those low back joints in the back half of your low back a little bit happier. So who's this class today good for? Anybody that generally has low back aching? You know, when you get up in the morning and your back is just achy and stiff, this is the class for you. Who this class is not that great for are individuals that might be dealing with acute, meaning sudden onset disc injuries, where you've got shooting or sharp pain going down your leg. That is a disc-related issue, and we will deal with that maybe someday in the future. We've definitely dealt with it someday in the past. So if you've got those sharp shooting type of symptoms down your leg, I'm not saying necessarily don't participate in today's class, but please be cautious if you have any increase of symptoms in your leg at all. This is, hey, my back is achy and I want to get it better class today. All right, so what you're going to need for class is just a few things. I'd like you to have some sort of stick. Now, it can be just a dowel like I'm using, a broom handle, mop handle, shower curtain rod, closet curtain rod. Maybe you've got an old rake in your garage that you can use the stick off of. Anything at all will work. It does not matter its diameter. Just make sure that it is longer than your actual spine. The other things that we're going to need for class when we get down to our yoga mat are a bolster and also a pillow. I very much feel like a teacher right now, pointing with a stick. Anyways, so here's what I would like you to do. What I would like you to do is to start somewhere in the center of your mat. Place your feet so that your feet are approximately hip distance apart. So again, if you're not familiar with what is my hip distance, if we take your two fists together and place those two fists down between your toes, that's approximately your hip distance. Now, once you've got that, line up the outsides of your mat with the sides of your mats. Your legs will feel like they're slightly turning inward. A-okay, that is the normal feeling you should experience if your legs are in alignment. Hold on to your stick. So we're going to be using that in a few minutes, but go ahead and take an opportunity to pick your toes up. With your toes picked up, shift your weight forward and feel the ball of your big toes and the ball of your little toes. Now you may need to actually turn your foot in and out. That's called supination, pronation, to be able to appreciate those balls of your big toes and those balls of your little toes. See if you can find that middle of the road where you can feel a little bit of each part of the ball of the big toe and the ball of the little toe. Once you have that, then just relax your toes back down. Okay, so take your knees and allow your knees to really straighten, also called hyperextension. So really tighten through the quadriceps, put that tension into those knee joints and the back of the tendons of the knees, and then soften your knees so that your knees are in a nice, good, relaxed position. Go up to your pelvis for a second. You can kind of feel your pelvis if you like and see, does your pelvis sit in a fairly level position in your neutral position? And then let's move the pelvis a little bit to see if we can find that middle of the road. So allow yourself to kind of tuck your tailbone under, allow yourself to tip your tailbone forward. And then as you're doing that, find for you, what is that middle position between that tuck and that tilt? Hopefully that's somewhere where that bowl is nice and level and you're not spilling something out the front or spilling something out the back. Okay, that's as much as we're going to do in our Tadasana today, or mountain pose. Because now what I want you to do is I want you to take that stick that you have found and I want you to place it to the back of your body. Now, the reason that we're doing that is we're going to be working on getting some nice, good alignment through our spine. So allow yourself to place the stick so that you kind of Have a tail at the end, so there's a little bit coming down below where your gluteal muscles are. In efficient alignment, see if there's a tiny, tiny space for your low back. Tiny meaning about approximately an inch to an inch and a half. So you've got a big, gigantic space between your stick and your low back area. Settle your tailbone, tuck your tailbone under a little bit more. Then the stick should be touching somewhere near the center of your rib cage in the middle of your back. And then can you lengthen your neck? Bad day to wear a ponytail, Trudy. Can you lengthen your neck, settle your chin, and place the back of your head onto that stick? So nice, good plumb line through the spine. Now, there may be limitations of your neck, your rib cage, or your low back or pelvis. Put yourself in the best alignment that you feel that you can be in. I would encourage you to take one hand, hold the stick to the back of the head, and then just take one hand and gently hold the stick somewhere near the buttock area. Now, in this position, what we're going to work on doing is a very small hip hinge and forward fold. Now, why are we doing this in a back arthritis class? Because one of the main things that causes back arthritis is overuse of the back for bending and lifting, and underuse of your hips. So I want to take an opportunity at the beginning of our class to train how do we use our hips to bend forward and not our back to bend forward. All right, so keep yourself nice and in that beautiful still position. Take a nice deep inhale, and then on your exhale, start to push your hips back, start to bend your knees, but don't let your body, head, rib cage, or tailbone move away from the stick. How far can you bend when you do that? What does it look like for you? Then inhale, coming back up. Let's try it again. Keep everything in contact with the stick as you exhale and hinge from the hips, bend at the knees. Allow yourself to forward fold. Inhaling back up. Last time here, as you exhale, hinge at the hips, bend at the knees. Now, inhale, push yourself all the way back up, and then take an exhale and relax there. Now, for each and every one of us, either that stick came away from the bottom, meaning you overuse your back too much. The stick came away from the neck, meaning you overuse your neck too much. Or the stick came away from both. Sorry, but that means you probably overuse your back and your neck too much. Now, without the stick being there, so just gently take your stick, move it away from you, place it somewhere that's safely out of the way. Can you see if you can do that same hip hinge, that same forward fold, and use those legs and those buttock muscles and not those beautiful back muscles? So find that Tadasana again. Lift those feet up. Find the balls of the big toes, balls of the little toes on the floor. Balance between it. Relax your toes down. Tighten your knees. Relax your knees. Tuck and tilt your tailbone. Find middle of the road for you. All right. Now that you've got that, imagine that that stick is there this time. So kind of lengthen through your spine, lengthen through your neck, settle through your chin. Picture that you've got just that 1 inch space between your low back and that stick. Keep everything nice and still, just like the stick is there. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, can you hinge yourself forward and not use your back? Can you inhale and push yourself back up and not overextend through your back? Take an inhale. Exhale. Can you squat, hinging, allowing the back to stay perfectly straight? Inhale, coming back up, squeezing and pushing as you make your way up there. Take an exhale right there. Now, last time, really think about this. Do you need to stop yourself from dropping your rib cage forward? Do you need to tighten your abdominals? Very likely, by the way. Do you need to keep your neck long and your chin settled? Very likely, by the way. Take an inhale, hinge just at your hips, bend your knee, keep your back straight. And then inhale, push all the way up, and then squeeze through the glutes at the very, very top. So when we talk about doing therapeutic yoga, for low back arthritis, I really just feel like it's necessary to begin with teaching you how do you stop making the arthritis worse in the first place. And what we just did is the number one thing. How you bend and lift will make all the difference in the world to the health of your low back. Okay, now let's make our way down onto our mat. So very simply, the easy way to do it, if you've got a piece of furniture that you want to hold onto next to you, that's fine. But a nice, simple, safe way to make your way down to the floor is through a forward fold and stepping yourself into a lunge. So find your feet hip distance together. Take a nice deep inhale, reach your arms forward, ready for your hip hinge. As you exhale, hip hinge, keep that back nice and straight, nice and straight. And then at the very end, bend your knees, lean yourself forward onto your hands. Step one leg back into a lunge, step the other leg back into a lunge. And there you have it. You're already in hands and knee pose. Okay. Now check in that your knees are hip distance. Look straight back to your feet. Make sure that you can't see your feet, ankles and toes on the inside or outside. So everything's nice and stacked. Stack those hips directly on top of the knees. Walk the hands so that you've got your wrists and your wrist and your elbows underneath your shoulders. Take a moment to point your index fingers forward and really spread those thumbs inward to get a nice good stretch. All right. So what do we know that back arthritis needs? It needs nutrition. Nutrition occurs through motion. So let's do 5 cat-cows today to really get that motion happening. Now, I strongly encourage you today with your cat-cows to really focus on the pelvic mobility and the abdominal mobility. So let's go through that. So take an inhale, let your belly sink down gently, let your tailbone lift gently. Then as you exhale, really tighten the abdominals and really tuck that tailbone under. Inhale, gently drop the belly, gently lift the tailbone. Now you're ready for the work? Exhale, really tighten those abdominals, really tuck that tailbone under. 3 more times. Inhale, gently settle the belly, gently lift the tailbone. Don't go all the way up into that hard extension. Then as you exhale, tuck and tuck and tuck and really contract those abdominals. Inhale, gently sink the belly, gently lift the tailbone. You ready for the work? Exhale, really pull those abdominals in, really tuck those tailbones under. And inhale, I think this is the last one. I don't remember. Be gentle. Don't go to full end range. And exhale and exhale and exhale and exhale. Beautiful. Now gently sit yourself back onto your heels. Now, if you have a lot of low back arthritis in those joints, oftentimes your low back doesn't go into any forward bending at all. You do it all through your rib cage and your thoracic spine. So I want to teach you a really simple way to distract, which means you take more space between every joint of your low back to create that forward bending where those joints are stiff. So grab yourself a pillow. I've got myself a little tiny pillow from a sofa, a Chesterfield couch, whatever. But grab yourself a pillow and place the pillow into your abdomen region. Now, if you have a lot of abdominal fat, that doesn't mean don't use the pillow. It just means you're not going to be able to get as much into your child's pose as you normally can. With the pillow there, take the pillow, lift yourself up, and kind of tuck the pillow as much under your belly as you can. Now, if the belly's a little bit bigger, take a hand, lift the belly up, and put the pillow underneath the belly. All right. Once you've got it there, keep your hands on your thighs, keep your hands holding the pillow. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a nice deep inhale. And as you inhale, lift your body up and away from your hips. And then as you exhale, let your body fold over the pillow and then drop your hands down onto the floor. Now, it may be that you can't sit your sit bones back as far. It may be that you cannot get the crown of your head to the floor. It's all a matter of your low back flexibility if your joints are really arthritic. So just let yourself go to where you can today. Once you go to where you can today, yes, it is difficult to breathe with a big pillow stuck in your abdomen. But what I want you to do is do the best you can. So allow yourself to take an inhale into the pillow. Beautiful stretching through those joints that are arthritic. And then as you exhale, relax. All right, let's do that again. Nice deep inhale into the pillow. And then as you exhale, relaxing. One more breath for me. Nice deep inhale into the pillow. And exhale. Gently push yourself up. Get rid of the pillow. Maybe even catch your breath if it was difficult to get your inhale in. And then slowly walk yourself up into your hands and knees again. All right, so we are going through cat-cows again, but now we're going to add a little bit of side bending, a little bit of focus on opening up through that right low back. So take your feet and just simply windshield wiper your feet a little bit over to the left side. Now change nothing else about your alignment. Keep your hands and your elbows underneath your shoulders, index fingers forward, thumbs are pulled inward, hips are stacked on top of the knees. But in this position, let's go through 3 cat-cows. Remember, don't force your inhale, don't force the extension. So take an inhale, just gently drop the belly, gently lift the tailbone. Now work hard. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under, pull that abdomen in. Inhale, gently drop the belly, gently lift the tailbone. Exhale, tuck, 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 tuck that tailbone, abdomen all the way in. One more time. Inhale, gently drop the belly, gently lift the tailbone. And exhale, really pull that abdomen in, really tuck that tailbone. And slowly come back to the center. Slowly sweep your feet back to the center. Gently sit yourself back in child's pose. Grab that silly little pillow. Stick it in that abdomen. Take your abdominal fat. Pull it up over the pillow. Deep inhale here. Lift the rib cage up. Exhale, fold over the pillow. Go to where you can. Allow yourself to feel that pressure onto the pillow, onto the abdomen, opening up those back joints. Take a deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. 2 more. Nice deep inhale into the belly. Exhaling out. And 1 more. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Slowly pushing yourself up with your arms, moving your pillow off to the side. Last round up onto hands and knees. Once you get your alignment through your hips and your knees and your hands, elbows, and shoulders, allow yourself to take your feet and move your feet to the right side. So windshield wiper of the feet to the right side. As you do that, focusing on a little bit more opening and closing of the left side of your low back. All right, so here we go. Remember, don't force that inhale. So take an inhale, gently let the belly drop, gently let the tailbone lift. Now here we go. Work hard. Exhale, really pull that abdomen in, really tuck that tailbone under. 2 more times. Inhale, sink down, gently, gently, don't force it. Now work hard. Exhale, pull up, tuck, 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 tuck. And final time, inhale, sinking downward. And here we go. Big one, last time. Exhale, tuck that tailbone under, pull that abdomen in as hard as you can, and slowly relax to the center. Windshield wiper your feet. Gently sit yourself backwards towards your heels. Last time with the pillow. Every time we do this, you should be getting more motion through those joints that are arthritic. Place the pillow in the abdomen area. Pull the belly up and over the pillow. Take that deep inhale and lift that rib cage nice and high. Exhale, fold over that pillow, gently drop yourself down into this modification of child's pose. Okay, last 3 breaths here. So take a nice deep inhale into that belly, into that pillow, and exhaling out. 2 more, nice deep inhale in, and exhaling out. Last one, nice deep inhale in, and exhaling out. Slowly walking yourself up. Okay, so we're done with the pillow. Now grab your bolster. Take your bolster to the center of your yoga mat. Now, what I want you to do once you're on the bolster, in the center of your yoga mat, is stack your knees and stack your hips. Have your ankles and feet together as well. What we're going to be doing is a mild inversion of our upper body, but we're really working on opening up our back into a side bend. So really allowing those joints to get nice, good motion, nice, good nutrition. So gently, once you've got your left hip and your left knee on the bolster, the right hip and knee stacked on top, drop yourself down onto your left elbow, and then drop yourself down onto your left shoulder, and slowly and gently just let the crown of your head or the side of your head rest down onto the yoga mat. In this position, the left hand can gently kind of hold on to the left leg if you feel like you need to, completely up to you. But what I want you to do now is take the right leg, nice deep inhale, lift the right leg up in the air, and then as you exhale, bring that right leg down towards the floor. Now, I promise you, even if you don't have a lot of arthritis in your low back, you're feeling something on the side of your low back and pelvis area right now. That's what we want. Now, in this position, maybe you can even push some fingers in there and loosen up some muscles as you're doing it. Totally up to you what you do. But what I want you to focus on is trying to keep that big toe and that heel on the floor. Once you've got it there, imagine where you're the tightest, and that's where you want to breathe. So take a deep, slow inhale into the right low back area. And exhale out. One more breath. Nice, deep, slow inhale in. And exhaling out. Wonderful. Now, right leg, take an inhale, lift it up in the air, and then as you exhale, pull it on in and stack it on top of that left leg. Take your top hand onto the floor, slide your left elbow underneath you. Nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, push yourself up into a seated position back on that bolster. Once you're there, just simply flip yourself around. All you're doing is moving yourself to the opposite side of the bolster. Have the right pelvis, the right hip, the right knee on the bolster. Once you've got yourself there, take the left hip, knee, and ankle and stack it on top. All right, so we're ready to repeat this all over again on the opposite side. So once you've got the alignment through your lower half of your body, slowly drop yourself down onto your right elbow, and then slowly drop yourself down onto your right shoulder. Let your head just gently rest in that position. All right, nothing for the right hand to do. If you feel like you need to hold that lower leg because it's not easily staying on the bolster, feel free to do that. But let's go ahead now and move that left leg. So take that inhale, lift that leg up in the air, and then as you exhale, pull it down towards the floor. Heel and big toe, you want them in contact with the floor. Where do you feel that stretch through that left low back area? You know what? It could even be in your abdomen area if you've had any sort of surgeries or anything. Where do you feel it? All right, now that you've got yourself, okay, I know where I feel this, let's work our breath. So take a deep inhale into that area. And then exhaling out. You've got it. Nice, slow, deep inhale in. And exhaling out. Wonderful. Now with the left leg, take an inhale, lift it up in the air, and as you exhale, pull it in, stack it on top of the right leg, left hand onto the floor, right elbow down and underneath you. Take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, push yourself back up onto the bolster. Now, once you get yourself up onto the bolster, stay on the bolster, but move yourself to the front edge of the bolster. So we're going to go into a full inversion, full pelvis on the bolster next. So have it so that your right hip is at the very, very edge of the bolster. Knees are stacked, ankles are stacked. In this position, gently allow yourself to drop down onto the right shoulder. Brace through your abdominals. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, just give yourself a little rotation, and voila, you are up on that bolster in a full inversion. Got some clothes in your way, move them out of the way, but allow yourself to find that position that your pelvis is higher than your low back, and your low back is, in fact, that space between the bolster and the floor. All right, now, here's what we're going to do. We are going to move our low back. This is the best position to move your low back in to ease arthritis of those joints of the back because of the fact that now gravity is working with you. None of your guts are pulling on your spine, and even your hip flexors are nice and shortened right now. So just gently take your hands to the outside of your knees, but near your shin bone areas. If you've got lots of tension in your hips, you can just gently hold underneath your thighs, whichever really works for you. But try to not let yourself force your knees to your chest. Just gently hold your knees so that your hip flexors shut off. Lengthen your neck and settle your chin. Now, here's what I want you to do. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, try to tuck your tailbone under and let that low back settle downward towards that low back or towards the mat. Okay, you've got it. Now, can you inhale and just kind of lift your belly up a little bit, kind of gently push the tailbone down into the bolster? And let's do it. Exhale, drop that spine all the way to that mat. You got one more in you? Let's do it. Inhale, arch your back a teeny tiny bit, not hard, just a little bit of an arch. And then as you exhale, gently let that low back fall down towards that floor. Get that beautiful length through the back of that spine. All right, now keep that back in that settled position towards the floor. And then gently take your left knee towards your chest now. Hold it with your left hand and right hand if you like. And take that right foot and lower it down towards the floor. Just a little bit of opening through our hip flexors. They do attribute to a lot of low back arthritis if they are tight and tense. So in this position, take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, just gently let your legs slide all the way down the mat. Can you get to the point that your knee is almost straight and your heel is still touching the floor? Left knee is to the chest, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Feel where you feel that tension. Wherever you feel that tension, put your breath there. All right, nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Two more breaths. Deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. One more. Nice, slow, deep inhale into that belly. And exhaling out. Wonderful. Now with that right leg, slide the leg up until the foot is flat onto the mat. Take a nice deep inhale there. And then on the exhale, pull the right knee up and into your chest. Okay, let's do it on the opposite side. So holding the right knee to the chest, you could use both hands around if you like. Gently settle the left foot down onto the floor. Once you have it there, allow yourself to take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, start to slide that leg all the way down. Go to where you feel comfortable with your knee, but keep the heel in contact with the mat. Don't force anything today. Just start to appreciate, where do you feel that tension in your hip? Maybe it's in your abdomen. Allow yourself to keep your right knee to your chest, lengthen your neck, settle your chin, soften your face. All right, so in this position, 3 deep breaths. Really focus on where you feel that tension and try to breathe right into that. Nice deep inhale in. And exhaling out. Slow, deep breath in. And slow exhale out. One more time for me. Nice deep inhale in. And gentle exhaling out. And then very slowly, slide that left foot flat onto the mat. Once you have the left foot flat onto the mat, take an inhale here, and then on your exhale, pull your knee to your chest. Okay, now, once the knees are to the chest, use your hands and gently pull the knees a little bit away from the chest. We're going to go through that motion of the pelvis again, letting that low back drop towards the floor on every exhale. Finding motion into the joints. Motion into the joints means nutrition into the joints. Nutrition means you are getting rid of pain and inflammation and stiffness. All right, so here we go. Take an inhale here, and then on your exhale, slowly let that tailbone tuck under. Let that low back drop towards the floor. You got it. Inhale, gently arch. Exhale, slowly drop that low back to the floor. Tuck that tailbone under. A little bit of abdominal contraction here. Let's do one more time. Inhale, gently arch a little tiny bit. And then as you exhale, slowly, 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 slowly settle that tailbone down. Now, gently inhale and bring yourself up to what you think might be a good resting position for your low back. So your back is not arched, your back is not flexed. It's somewhere in that happy space in between. Then keep your knees where they are. Take your toes and point your toes up towards the ceiling. Take your right hand to your right thigh, your left hand to your left thigh. Now, very, very lightly, start to push the hands into the thighs and the thighs into the hands. Just enough that you feel a contraction in your abdominal muscles. Your hip flexors are firing. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. And then imagine that right now that with your hands, you're trying to lift your hands up towards the ceiling. So it's like you're lifting up, but you still have contact onto the thighs. In the physical therapy world, we call that traction. Traction speaks to our core muscles, and that's what we're trying to do right now. So keep yourself right where you are, gently resisting hands to thighs, thighs to hands, but all at the same time trying to lift those hands upward. Hold that there. Give me a nice deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. Nice deep inhale into the belly. Exhaling out. One more time, guys. I know you have it. Deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Gently stop the resistance. Gently relax the feet. Take your right knee to your chest. Take your left knee to your chest. Settle yourself right there. Appreciate all that opening to those joints in the back of your low back. Nice deep inhale into your belly here. And exhaling out. One more breath. Slow, deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. Wonderful. Now here's what I want you to do. Keep your knees to your chest and take your hands to your bolster and just give that bolster a push until your low back and your pelvis meet your yoga mat. Once you've got it there, kind of lift that bolster and kind of flip it up and over and see if you can flip it up and over one more time. Just get that bolster out of your way. Once you got that bolster out of your way, we're going to do one more lovely opening exercise for that low back arthritis. So here's what I want you to do. Your back is nice and resting against the floor right now. Take a moment to take your shoulder blades underneath you, lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Take your left leg and slide the left leg over to the left side of your yoga mat. Then take your right leg, slide the right leg over and touch the left leg. Now, if you got a lot of tightness in your hip flexors, your IT band, you may already be feeling tension in the outside of your right hip. That is okay. With the legs touching one another, pick up the left leg in the air, cross it over the right leg. You've got it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, take your left hand and start to walk your left hand down towards that right heel. Put your whole body in a nice, good side bend. All right, with your right hand, just gently inhale the fingertips towards the ceiling, and then as you exhale, just gently reach that arm up and over your head. Now, check in that your pelvis isn't rotated. So with your right cheek of your bottom, try to push your bottom down into the floor. You'll feel that opening in your low back. All right, now finally, can you figure out how would I tuck my tailbone under just a little tiny bit? Now hold it right there. Take a deep inhale into your belly and exhaling out. One more breath, nice deep inhale into that belly and exhaling out. Right arm, inhale it up towards the ceiling, and then as you exhale, drop it down. And then with the right hand on the floor, walk your rib cage back to the center. Then lift the left leg up in the air, bend your knee, place your left foot flat. Take your right leg, slide your right leg all the way up until your foot is flat, and then walk your feet back so that you've got yourself in the center of your yoga mat. Once you feel like you've got everything centered, allow yourself to drop your legs down straight again on your mat. Okay, let's do it on the opposite side. So right leg, slide the right leg off the edge of the right side of the mat. Then take your left leg and join your left leg to your right leg. Yes, you may feel tension on the outside of your hip, particularly if your hip flexors and IT band might be restricted. Hold yourself right there. Now do this with me. The right leg, pick it up in the air and cross it over the left leg. All right, now that you have that, with the right hand on the floor, start to walk your right hand down towards that left heel as your body side bends. Then take your left hand, fingertips up into the air, nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, reach that arm up and over your body. Okay, now, if the pelvis is rotating, what I want you to do right now is take your left bottom, your left buttock, and gently push it down into your yoga mat. I am sure you feel some nice opening there. Allow yourself to take a deep inhale into that belly, right where you feel that tension, and exhaling out. Let's do that one more time. Nice deep inhale in and exhaling out. All right, with the left arm, inhale it up to the ceiling, and then as you exhale, drop it down. Stick with that left arm and allow yourself to walk your trunk back to the center. Then pick up your right leg, bend your knee, and place your foot flat on your yoga mat. Pick up your left leg, bend your knee, place your foot flat on your yoga mat, and find yourself happily in the center of your yoga mat. Right knee to chest, left knee to chest. Nice deep inhale into your belly. And then as you exhale, pull the knees into the chest. Lengthen the neck, settle the chin. Take a deep inhale into your belly here. And exhaling out. One more time. Nice deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. Gently lower one foot to the floor, followed by the other. Once both feet are flat on the floor, take your right leg, slide it straight down the mat. Take your left foot on top of your right thigh. Right hand, reach for that left knee. Left hand, bring it out to the side of your body. Take a nice deep inhale here, and then on the exhale, begin to twist. As that left knee comes to the right, feel that stretch through your hip, your pelvis, your low back, your rib cage. Gently get to the point that you get to your left shoulder blade. Keep the left shoulder blade on the floor. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin. Gently turn your gaze to the left. Take a nice deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. Slow, deep inhale in. And exhaling out. Gently bring your head back to the center. Start at that left shoulder blade and de-rotate your spine as your rib cage and your low back and your pelvis meet the mat. Take the left knee straight up. Place the left foot on the floor. Slide the right leg up. Slide the left leg down. Place the right foot onto the left thigh. Left hand, reach for that right knee. Right arm out to the side of the body. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, start to pull that right knee to the left. Hip stretches, pelvis rotates, low back rotates, rib cage rotates, right shoulder blade stays on the mat. Lengthen your neck, settle your chin, turn your gaze down and to the right. Nice deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. Slow, deep inhale into that belly. And exhaling out. Unrotating that head to the center, starting at that shoulder blade and slowly unrotating the rib cage, followed by the low back, followed by that pelvis, placing that right foot on the floor, sliding that left leg up. Take a moment here to just gently tuck that tailbone under, contract through the abdominal muscles. And then one leg at a time, slide the leg down to the corner of the mat. Once the legs are down to the corners of the mat, relax the abdominals, relax the low back, roll the shoulder blades underneath you, rest your arms out to the side of you, lengthen through your neck, settle through your chin, tongue to the roof of the mouth, gently close your eyes. All right, we did so much beautiful motion into those joints of our low back today. I hope you have a happy and healthy back for the remainder of the day, but here's what I hope the most. I hope when you wake up tomorrow morning, your back is less stiff, less achy, and you have discovered a way to improve the health of your low back through therapeutic yoga and mobility. Take a nice deep inhale into your belly. And exhaling out. Let's do that again. Nice, slow, deep inhale into the belly. And exhaling out. And then start to wiggle your fingers of your toes. Maybe some circles with those wrists and the ankles. And then when you feel like you're ready, slide one leg up, followed by the other. And then gently let yourself roll to your right or your left side. All right, as you rest there, give yourself a breath or two. And then on an exhale, when you're ready, bottom elbow, top hand. Push yourself up into a seated position. Find yourself in a nice, easy pose, legs in crisscross applesauce, tailor sitting, whatever you want to call it. Hands are to the center of our hearts, and there's a nice big smile on our face. Take a deep inhale into your belly and exhaling out. Namaste. The highest in me salutes the highest in you. Thank you for joining me today.